Listen, this tiny thing helped move the world. And it led me to a question. Why does one narrow strip of water seem to decide the fate of empires? And how did that become Indonesia? So I started with the water.
Ships like this were always moving, carrying spices from island to island, trying to reach bigger markets far away. But no matter where they started, their path kept leading to the same place. Because eventually, every ship ends up here. You don't get to choose another way. You either pass through this, or you don't trade at all.
Because if every ship carrying spices must pass through one narrow passage, then controlling this isn't local power, it's global power. And over 1,000 years ago,
a kingdom figured this out first.
Srivijaya.
They didn't just live near trade, they controlled who moved through it. They didn't just pass through here, they had to be allowed through. Someone decided who moved and who didn't.
And then I realized the money wasn't only in spices, it was in controlling movement itself. Their capital wasn't built like most kingdoms.
And traders didn't just come for goods. They came for knowledge too. That surprised me.
This wasn't only a trade empire, it was the center of learning. They became incredibly rich. Something stranger, something this reached farther than we imagined.
Some journeys didn't stop here. They kept going, far beyond what we expected.
Which may mean this was bigger than original empire. And then they disappeared. And this bothered me. How can something powerful enough to shape trade leave almost nothing behind? Maybe history disappears more easier than we think. Then parts of the story were found again. And then I realized the stray was still there. The spices were still there. Which means the struggle for control wasn't over. But if Srivijaya failed, what could replace it? So if Srivijaya faded, who takes control next? The trail led to Java.
Majapahit. But this felt different. This wasn't just another sea empire. Its secret wasn't the ocean. It was the dirt. And dirt meant power.
And then I found one promise.
And it wasn't a small one that may have changed everything.
Sumpa Palapa. They may have changed everything.
I will not rest until these lands are united under one rule. I will not stop until it is done.
No comfort until the islands are united. And honestly, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Imagine making a promise to unite the thousands of islands. And somehow the network grew. For the first time, the islands started to feel connected. Even invaders tried, they failed. Then I found something I didn't expect. These colors may have survived for centuries. And that made me wonder, was this where Indonesia started feeling like one? It may have not been a modern country, but something bigger was forming. And then I hit a bigger question. If the islands were becoming connected, what broke them apart? So if the islands were becoming connected, who would want to break that? And then the story turns outward. Because now the world wants spices.
Not just one place. Everyone. Traders, kingdoms, empires, and they'll do anything to get them. All chasing the same tiny islands.
And all this attention focused on tiny islands most people have never heard of.
This is nutmeg, and for hundreds of years, this was one of the most valuable things in the world. It didn't grow everywhere, it grew here, on a few tiny islands, which meant if you controlled this, you controlled everything built around it.
And then I found something unbelievable. They didn't send a king.
They sent a company. The Dutch East India Company, the VOC. It wasn't just a business, it was built to control trade.
They sent a company with ships, with armies, with money. Almost like a country that was pretending to be like a business. And then the story narrowed to one tiny island, Run. And this sounded impossible. And they traded this island for this one. That's New York for spice. But there was a darker side. They built cities and took control of everything.
$350 years. That's longer than many countries have existed.
And that gave me a question. If outside powers controlled this long, how do you ever take it back? So after 350 years, how does a country come back? And then the world shifts. And suddenly, an opening appears. Two people standing outside the house and read a short declaration. And Indonesia announced itself. But independence wasn't the end of problem. Because then comes the harder question. How do thousands of islands, hundreds of languages become one country? And this is where I found something remarkable. They didn't force everyone to be the same. They built a bridge.
They don't all come from the same place, but they can understand each other. That's because they share one language, Bahasa Indonesia.
A shared language, a shared idea. Out of many, one. And suddenly I realized Indonesia wasn't held together in sameness, but by agreement.
Terima kasih sudah menerima saya, Romo.
Tidak apa, Nak. Yang penting hati tenang.
Iya, saya mengerti.
And honestly, that may have been the most surprising part of the story. But it gave me one last question. After empires, colonies, and independence, what actually remains? It's strange. Something so small can change so much. Ships came, empires rose and disappeared, but something stayed. People, stories, connection. Thousands of islands still sharing the same story. And I think that surprised me the most. Not because everyone is the same, but because they choose to stay together. Maybe this wasn't really a story about spice, or trade, or empires. It was a story about what holds people together. And suddenly, the spice looked different to me. Because it wasn't just what people fought over, it was what forced the world to meet here. I'm Kristóf, and this is the story of Indonesia.